Hey guys, and welcome back to Skizzlecraft. So we're on to episode 5, starting off today in the headmaster's office. But like I said in the last episode, we're not going to be staying here. I've just been enjoying the castle, what we've got built so far, wandering around. There is more detailing that needs doing at some point, but I'm really liking how it is looking so far. And I am kind of figuring out my way mostly around the castle, well, around the staircase and how to get around. I can get from the ground floor to the headmaster's office anyway. And I'm guessing it'll be a little bit easier once we've got all the other corridors and stuff added. But, like I said, today is not castle work. Today we are going to be heading out into the nether and building our nether tunnel. I have been working hard on our creative server to lay out a plan for how it's going to be, because trains are not really my strong point. And I've kind of got an idea of how it's going to be, and then I've been doing some digging. You might have noticed that I keep coming up here and forgetting I've moved the nether portal over here. So if we head over here, just so it fits in, because if I'm building the nether tunnel, there is going to be multiple portals around the castle. But for now, just the main one that I've got. I thought I'd put this here. Now this is going to be the courtyard going into the Great Hall. So I thought I'll add it here, because just behind this, in this section here, is where the staircase from the boathouse is going to enter. But if we go through the portal now, you can see I've been busy digging out an area. Now the whole thing is not dug out. We've just moved the portal from here over a little bit. And this is what we've got so far. Now this is the main part of, which is going to be the train tracks, and the actual walking part of the platform. But we'll need to do some more digging up, and the walls need to be changed, because obviously we don't want this as the wall. So I've not dug out the space for the actual walls or ceiling decoration yet, just for fitting the train. But I think once we've got the train in, then we can stand on that and start doing the ceiling, because I don't want to be digging too much out and then have too much space. We might as well dig out what we need to do. So I've been resource gathering. Where is my bow? Just get rid of this skeleton. Only problem about digging out the nether tunnel is it's no longer spawn proof. So we head down here. I've been doing some resource gathering. Now it actually doesn't look like a lot for the size of the tunnel. So we've got all this, some small bits, decorative stuff, plenty of jungle, plenty of nether brick, and plenty of mangrove, because obviously we need the that dark red maroon colour for the train. So I think we'll start off with the train tracks and place the wheels in place so we can see where each of the carts are going to be before we start working on the rest. Now, I've not worked fully on detailing yet. We'll have to see if we want to add anything to it, and I haven't planned how the platform's going to look. I've only actually planned the actual train part, so I think once we've got that built, the rest is just going to be kind of winging it. So that's the track and the wheels sections marked out. I've just cobblestone slabbed the bottom because, well, you're not going to see this section here because it's going to have the platform above it. And I think cobblestone worked well with under the tracks anyway. It's usually kind of like a, well, stony, well, it depends where you are. But where I am, there's kind of like a cobblestone type thing under the train tracks anyway. Missed one. So I've just put that down for now, and that helps a little bit with the spawning because, well, yeah, I was having ghasts shooting at me and everything. I did lose all my stuff once, unfortunately, so luckily last time I lost stuff, I went and just stocked up on two full sets, and I've been out and bought just one netherite ingot to get my pick, because I've been doing some digging as well. Out ready for the next episode when I've not got time to record. So yeah, anyway, this is the length of the train so far. So here is going to be the actual steam engine section, and then from, I think this one is where we start the carts. So you have the main section, the steam engine, and then you have the truck behind it with the coal and stuff in. And then we're going to have two carriages go in here and down there, and that fits perfectly. Now, eventually, I do want multiple portals, depending on where I go in the castle, because it's just be easier to get around rather than just having the one portal. So I'm not quite sure how that'll work with this. We might end up having to have portals inside the train, because this is where the Great Hall is. Northeast, which means the castle is going to be in this direction and this direction. So hopefully we won't end up having anything in the train, but if we have more portals later, we'll have to do some more digging in this direction. But for now, I think we're just going to move on with the building. I might actually put the slabs down for the platform just to make it easier, because it's difficult getting up and down. So I think we'll start with the slabs from the platform, and then we'll get working on the actual train. That's the main part of the train built. I think it looks really good. I got used to my testing in creative where I was flying around, so it's a bit of an odd angle from what I'm used to, but I think it actually looks better because you can't actually see too much of the squareness of it. Oops. Let's get back up. Because obviously the train is rounded here, which is very difficult to do. So I've kind of have to step it down, but because it's not very big, because of, I mean, I could do a really nice round train if I would make it a lot bigger, but this size it's kind of difficult. So you can probably see I've just gone for a step down and then added some trapdoors on. So, and I think that gives it a nice shape, and then just adding the buttons in and some fences and the chains for the extra details, I think worked out nicely. So let's head down here. I have removed one row of this because it was all the way up to the train, which was fine until we got down here, which means you couldn't actually see the wheels at all. I'm not sure whether I need to move the wheels out one or not. Or just leave it as it is. So you don't really need to be able to, well, you can't move the wheels out because then they wouldn't be on the tracks, but maybe move these up one like we have here. I'm not quite sure. I do like the way it looks as it is, though. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as the rest. But the interior of the trains, I've not done anything with just yet. I've marked out where each of the carriages are going to be, and I've got an idea of how to do this. So I'm going to build the stripped jungle logs up as the wall, because in the movie they kind of have that like pale wood colour, but it has kind of that orangey tint, kind of like how jungle wood looks anyway. So I'm going to do the stripped wood as the doors, and then they have those kind of like bluey green seats. So I've got some warped woods to make the seats. I've got some slabs and some doors to do that. And then we just need to add windows and tables. And there's not actually that much decorative inside the carriages. We just have to make it look kind of how it is. So while I've been working on this, someone's been, or a few people have been starting work on the actual corridors and the nether hub. And the last time I flew through this properly, it was just a big netherrack square with some moss floors. And look at this now. they've been working hard on the server while I've been stuck in there. I really should come out and do some help. I do know there is resources, and this design is repetitive, so I might at some point come out and just do a little bit of an extension helping out with the nether tunnel, but it's a nice height for flying through, and they've been doing all of them. We head down, you can see we've got the different colours. We've got the south tunnel is, well, they've been working hard on the south tunnel, but I think there's more people that have been helping out. The west tunnel has got my favourite colours in. And then we've got pink for the north tunnel, which looks really nice as well. So the whole thing looks really nice. I love the nether hub design. I just now have to be careful when I'm flying through because, well, yeah. I'm going to fly into one of these at some point. But if we head back to our tunnel and see how close we actually are to the nether hub, which is nice. We are the first portal in the east tunnel. Another thing I've been working on, you probably saw it a minute ago, is the Hogwarts Express sign. So I went out into our map world and I've used a website to label this out. So this was an actual picture and I just edited a few small bits on it, not too much. So I filled in all the yellow and then the lettering and this part first, and then a couple of people jumped on to help me and these fill all this out. These are just red carpets. So it would have took me a really long time to get this done because obviously it's 3 maps. But with 4 of us doing it, it actually didn't take a very long, and I think it turned out really nicely. So I've got the sign here for now. Now in the actual movie, it hangs over here. So I'll add that probably one higher up. I'm going to add that hanging over from the wall on a sign. Well, both sides of the sign once I've got the walls and everything done. And then I've also got it over here on the side of the train because that's how it is on the movie. On the coal carts, it has the 9 3/4 sign on there as well. So I've just added that on there. But I think we'll grab some resources now and start doing the interior before we get working on the actual room, because I'm going to have to do a lot more digging up here. Actually, I have been looking at pictures of how the actual train station looks, and you kind of have the brick wall on this side with archways, which I could do all the way along and then just go kind of one back and just put black concrete because you don't want to be able to walk through the archways. But then it goes up in kind of an arched ceiling, which is glass, but not completely see-through glass. It has kind of like an orangey tint to it, some of it, and then a white tint to some of it. And you can't, well, on the movie, you can't really see the sky on the outside, but I don't want to be able to see netherrack through the glass. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the archway and then just put like blue concrete or something behind it, a blue wall, just to make it, just to give it that sky colour look behind the coloured glass. And then the wall on this side doesn't really need to be much. It just needs to be, well, it's probably just going to be brick, or I'll just copy the archways on that side as well, even though there's no platform over there. But you're not really going to see much on that wall, so it's not too bad. This is the section you're going to really need to see. And then as long as these bits are decorated in between each of the trains where you can see through, then the rest isn't too bad. So we head up into the track, into the truck, the carts, whatever they're called. I think the first thing we need to do now is to start working on the floor so we can actually walk through. With the interior laid out, I've got the compartments laid out like this. I'm not quite sure how many there are per carriage on the actual train because you never really get to see it. So I've just done them just to fill the train, and then we've got these little sections in between where I'm going to put some trap doors in. We need the doors, we need to add the doors on, and then just to fill this in I've gone with trapdoors like this was the idea, and they are this kind of coppery colour. They just have more glass in the actual movie, but since we don't have that, I think I'll just stick with the copper ones. And then for the interior, all I've gone for is the warped doors because they have this kind of bluish seat. And I wanted it up a little bit higher just so it's got the space underneath. And then with the doors, we kind of have to do it this way to get it in, because they have those high backs, and this actually fits the colour quite well. I know they're just kind of a smooth texture normally, but we'll just go for the colour. And then they do have kind of a luggage rack. Have we got the trapdoors? There we go. So we can add trapdoors up here. Oops, it's the wrong spot. And then at some point we can just add either barrels or just some kind of luggage on some of these. We don't need to do all of them. And then they do have a table that's kind of up against the window. And I thought just using the trapdoors. No, it's not that one. What do we want? The carpet. So we can just add the table in like that. Now it's supposed to be central and not really touching the seats, but because this is 2 blocks, I can't get it central, and making these an extra block wider didn't look right. It just didn't fit. So that's what we've got. Nice and simple. Oh, we've got some lighting to put in. So I just brought chains and lanterns in each one like that. And that's the carriage done. I have got a load of wool because this is spawnable. And I've looked at some pictures from the movie, and they do actually have a dark cyan carpet. It's kind of this colour, but it's actually kind of like this colour here. This dark part. So I've just gone and got some cyan wool, which is a little bit brighter, but it's the closest we've got to matching it. So I'm going to go through, and every spawnable block I'm going to put the cyan carpets down. So I've also got the trapdoors, so I thought I could just go like this. Oops, missed that one. And let's see if we can get it. And then if we want to add some like custom heads or luggage or something in these sections as well, then just fill the cart up a little bit. I mean, these sections aren't too bad because you're not going to see them from the outside. And then at some point I'm going to add a couple of armor stands in, not too many because I don't want to lag out, but just in the seats so we can see them in the window when we're walking past. But that'll be done at a later date. So I need to get all these done. We've got both carriages the same. So I think that gives us 10 carriages, 10 little rooms in total. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So that'll give us 10 in total, which should look good from the outside. If we actually come out here, we can see how the carriage looks from the outside as well. And I think that looks quite nice. I think once we've got them all done, it will look even better. Now, I've been working hard getting this done. It's actually been a couple of days since the last clip, as you can probably see by the nether tunnel progress, which I should have been helping with but didn't. I've spent a while in the map world making a map for our entrance, and that is what we have right here. That is a little bit brighter just because the way maps work. I couldn't actually get this exact colour, but I think it just makes it a little bit easier to see, yeah, to see where it was supposed to go for anyone who doesn't know the tunnel. So yeah, I think it looks really good. I mean, I could put more of these maps around, but I don't want to lag too much. I don't want to put too many. I could kind of make these around, move ahead and make these around all the maps, but there's not really any point. So I've got some item frames under the maps put on signs, so we can actually walk straight through this into platform 9 3/4, as you can see, which we now have got completed. So I've done the ceiling now. I've kind of used a picture from the movies, and it has kind of these white and orange glass strips, and then it's got the beams that go over, and then I've just put some blue behind to kind of, yeah, kind of make it as close to the sky outside as I possibly could. So I've added a little bit more details to the train, and as you can see, I added the signpost, moved it off the wall, and just did a little bit of armor frame magic to make it look like it's actually hanging from the wall, which I think turned out quite nicely. We've got all the walls done. We've got the tunnel going in and out. The only problem is this bit here is in the way of the tunnel, but doesn't actually block the train, so I think it works fine. But with the limited size, we're only allowed the tunnel to be 11 blocks wide. So there was no way I could put it next to it and still fit the whole thing in. I would have had to do half a train for that. But I think it turned out quite well. We've got the archways on this side, which again, just black concrete behind because otherwise it would be too wide. And then I've just added the detailed archways in here. And there is in the movie, you can see kind of like drain pipes or something. So I've just added this in. This black stone piping in just for an extra little bit of detail. And then on the actual walls, you can see a little bit better up here, I've just added stairs and some actual brick walls in just to give it a little bit of a little bit more texture, a little bit more depth on the wall instead of just plain bricks all the way up. And that is the whole thing complete. The train is complete. I added, I don't know whether I showed this before, but I added the map onto the side of the train as well. We've got inside the train all complete, and I started putting some figures in. I just need to go get some armor. I didn't actually have a lot of leather. I've only got enough for this. So I need to go down to the industrial district and gather some leather up as well. So I can put a couple of armor stands on the train. I might just move that one over a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. But it's a bit difficult with the location of the placement of the what are they called? The tables. That's the word I was looking for. If we go down here, we've got, again, the tunnel exit going up this way. And then this bit I've not done just yet because I don't quite know what I'm going to do with this. So this section for now I'm just going to leave like this. It's spawn proof. We've got a staircase that goes down to a lava pool down on the nether floor, which I've been using for fuel at the minute. But the rest of the train and the rest of the tunnel is looking fantastic. I've had a couple of people come and look at it just to get other opinions, and everyone seems to like it. And honestly, I think it turned out a lot better than I expected. I wonder if I can get up. I've got some scaffolding. Let's see if we can get up somewhere. I've got no slabs left, so I have to just remove one of these for a minute. Let's just shove that in there. Oops. Don't shift when you're doing scaffolding. Let's see if we can get a better view from up here and see how it looks. There we go. And there is the train complete. So, yeah, I think we're done for in here. Don't think there's anything else we can do. I've been walking back and trying to think of things to add. I think the more I add, the more cluttered it's going to look. I don't think any more details are going to look any better than it already is. So we are done with our nether tunnel, and not only are we done, I think I'm 99.9% sure that I've spawn proofed the whole lot. So on top of the train, anywhere there is a spawnable block, I've got carpets on that as close as possible matches to the train colours. The bottom is all bottom slabs. The actual train track thing, I've put grey carpet on to spawn proof that. All the pillars, I've got carpet bits on. This is a bottom half slab. Inside the train is carpeted. Now, I was having a problem with if a piglin did spawn. I did find a spawnable spot. It was breaking the doors. So I've gone through and placed the doors kind of, well, if I break this one, I've done the whole trick of placing the door this way. So like that, it's open and that's closed, which means they can't be broke. And I've done the same with the seats as well. So just in case a piglin spawns, it is actually break proof. So I won't lose the doors. I don't really like the fact that the wall is directly outside the train, but with the width of the tunnel, there's not really much I can do for that. And yeah, you're not really going to see that side of it anyway. Most people are going to see this view going back into my base area. So that is done for now. So I'm going to go clean all my shulker boxes out, get all my stuff back into the storage room, which we do need to figure out where a proper storage room is going to go at some point. And then I think I'm going to start getting planning on my next adventure. There we go. Everything is cleaned away and we are done with the nether tunnel completely. I added the armor to the leather armor to the one armor stand that I actually added. I'm probably going to add a couple more in the windows, just not too many, 2 or 3. And I did actually change this section just a little bit, just to make it a little bit tidy so it wasn't a complete mess. but it's still easy enough to change later when I have an idea of what I want to do. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. I mean, everything so far has turned out better than I expected, but this, yeah, this I wasn't quite sure whether the idea would work with it only being such a limited space. So we've got our arm stand in there. Say hi to Diddy. But yeah, I'm really happy with how the whole thing turned out. You can see the nether tunnel from further away just because of the render distance, but that doesn't bother me too much. It's more this this side that matters for that. I mean, I could add item frames to the other side so it looks like a brick wall here, but again, I just don't want as many entities. We just don't need it. So that is done. I think I might add a sign up with my name. I know I've got my head, but just so I've got my name on the signpost as well. But we are done with everything for today. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making this. I'm not a big train person. I'm not very good at this kind of build, so I am hoping it turned out okay. If you've got any ideas of things that could improve it, feel free to let me know. I know it is a little bit square, but then again, it's a train. It's supposed to be. So yeah, let me know if you've got any ideas for improvements or other ideas that I've just not thought of to make it even more fun, even more accurate to the movies. I'm probably keep tweaking it as I go. Every time I go to something I've already built, I find ideas of something I can add. So this probably will get a few small things added at some point, but for now, we are done. And I'm getting ready for my next episode. I do need to go to the resource world and gather some more, well, resources. Lots of sandstone. We still do have a lot because we got those gifts in our postbox last episode, but we will need a lot more sandstone for the next build. It's even bigger than the tower. But yeah, I think for now, that is where we're going to leave this episode. Next time, we are going to be heading into the resource world. I have been doing a little bit of resource gathering, which while I was caving down there, I found an ancient city. And I thought we could tackle that in the next episode instead of just doing some building. We'll probably do a little bit of building as well, or a little bit digging and prep for building. Probably not a big build like we've been doing the last few episodes, but I think we'll go down and tackle an ancient city because I really want some swift sneak. I really need some swift sneak because this is driving me crazy going this slow. I got too used to it last season. We do have soul speed, but yeah, that only helps us the nether. So swift sneak is our next goal. So we'll probably head out to the ancient city I found and do that for a little bit in the next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this episode. Let me know what you think of the train. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to watch more of me on Skizzlecraft. I'm be releasing episodes as much as I can, and each build is going to get us closer to getting Hogwarts completely finished. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.